This is TVA by Jenna, a podcast about real human issues brought to you by DarkSpaces.com.
This is TVA My Dinner. My name is Sean. I'm here with Brooks and Andrew and Lynn.
Hey, everybody. We can talk about Dune. Can't talk about Spider-Man. I haven't seen it yet.
All right.
I don't want any spoilers.
No spoilers for Spider-Man.
I haven't seen Spider-Man or Dune.
I was lucky
You can't demand no spoilers, Brooks, when it's been a month since it came out.
Well, yeah, but it's in theaters. So
Well,
I
it's
can't
a
go to the
special
theater.
circumstances. Everyone can't go to the movies. I was fortunate because we went to see it right before the Omicron really blew up because we wouldn't have gone.
Doesn't that sound like it'd be a Decepticon?
Omicron.
Yeah, I feel like we're just living in a
Omicron,
sci-fi
gather the
dystopia.
power
Everything we
matrix.
say sounds like nonsense now.
The matrix of leadership.
That was before Omicron. We'll be saying that to people when we're old. It's like, that was back when Omicron hit. It's like, what the hell happened? and the death
It's
toll
better
was
than
like,
Delta.
the hospitals were full everywhere in the world when Omicron hit. Like, Jesus Christ.
When Omicron struck humanity.
Omicron.
Yeah, really. That's more than Thanos.
Yeah, on
Thanos
paper, you
was
could write
only half.
a log line for this year, and it sounds pretty exciting. Omicron sweeps across the world. It's like,
Yikes,
Delta
leaving a trail
variant.
of dead.
yeah.
Until he
So we'll save
following
Spider-Man.
the dreaded Delta variant.
We'll save Spider-Man. But Dune is good. I loved it. I thought
Did
it
you
was
watch
great.
Dune, Lynn? You haven't seen Dune. We won't spoil it.
There's no
'cause
spoilers.
I mean,
it's again,
the
you read
book- the book is
60-year-old
like
book.
100 years old. It's fine.
Did you read the book?
No.
I'm gonna
Well, you should read
Not
it.
much happens
Yeah.
plot-wise.
go after our Dune fans here because they hit us hard on the trailer when we did the watch along. I don't think I really care about Dune. Because I watched that movie and I know I didn't get to see it in the theaters, so we didn't get the full cinematic experience. But I was like, that was pretty good. But, I already liked the David Lynch one.
I'm not
they
sure
did
what
some
the
good
fuss
stuff with
was
it.
about. Like, everyone was gushing about it, and I was like, maybe because I knew the story, I'd read the book and stuff, but to me, I was like, this is nice, it's fine.
Yeah, they did good
It's
stuff.
entertaining, it's well shot and stuff, but it's not like, whoa, I cannot wait to. It wasn't like Lord of the Rings. When I saw Lord of the Rings the first time,
Dune. Like if you made Jodorowsky's Dune and it was just balls to the wall insane, maybe.
I mean, Dune is not Lord of the Rings as a book, but in sci-fi world, it's like a pillar of sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that kind of thing. So when I saw Lord of the Rings in the theater, I was like, whoa, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I love it. I can't wait to see the next
But
one.
there
So
never
when
had
I'm like,
been anything like Lord of the Rings when we watched it. It was the
Yeah.
best.
I know, and
that
it's
it ever
still
had
one of the
been.
best.
All
I
we
think
had
it's-
for
there
films,
has
it
it-
was people with little
I-
rubber suits and stuff. It was the best. Whereas with Dune, we've had so many epic movies in the past
Yeah.
10 years.
I don't think that's it, though.
Yeah,
'Cause
but
Dune-
I
I
do
mean, Lord of the
believe
Rings
that
still
Lord of the
holds
Rings
up.
still holds up. Like I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
you
Well,
still
I mean,
say that
I-
they haven't, even when they themselves tried, couldn't
Well,
go back
I
and
think-
do another Lord of the Rings.
Well, I'll go even harder and do. I like this version. I mean, I've seen the other one, but I think it was well done. Like as far as a directing job and acting job, I think it's really good. I think any criticisms of that, I'm going to get because Brooks pushed back from me before. I don't think Dune's a great friggin' book or story. Like it's just sort of boring.
I mean, it's like
as
I
a
said,
story.
it's not.
Like that book, it might get better. What I do love is the world and like the concept and that backstory and like it's basically that backstory of Dune is basically the Matrix, but this is like 20,000 years beyond the Matrix.
They
almost,
didn't
too.
explore a lot of the world.
You know
They
what I
didn't
mean?
explore
Like-
what the spice does.
And-
They didn't show the navigators really.
Well,
and
I never knew from just reading the book, or maybe I just didn't catch it. And then I had to look when I was just looking in like a little wiki or something. I never understood that like the actual Bene Gesserit and all that stuff. Because what you assume when we're reading the book and even the impression in these movies that it's like a religion. It's like magic or something. That's not. It's all fake. Like that is not magic. Does not exist in that world.
well, they
at
have
all.
the shout, like they have the voice.
They get that,
but it's not magic. It's all like in it. It's all like human.
Psychological
It's like
somehow.
what do you call it? Like a mentalist stuff. It's all like super.
See, I didn't get
advanced.
that. I thought they had
But
like
that's
actual,
how the world built it. No, read it like on their little. It's all just basically
I didn't get that from the book. I thought they had like actual.
I mean, that's
ability.
what it is.
Not
Like,
floating around, flying, but they had that. They can control
no,
you
and
with
so
their
all
voice.
no. So it's all the whole backstory in between them wanting a prophet and all that stuff is all just.
And he does have visions.
Well,
right?
but that's just
that's magic.
Well, but through genetics. But I mean, I'm
just saying.
Don't take it from me. This is like the official from like when you look at the wiki and the backstory, like what the actual history of it is. Like they've been doing genetic manipulation to, and all the people that believe they've been seeding that idea for generations.
Yeah, which
and
is
what
neat.
they want is that they wanted her to marry the Sting character so that they would have a baby. That would be. It
wasn't Sting's character; it was the main Harkonnen guy, right? The dad.
I thought it was the son of Harkonnen.
I thought it was the dad who, in the movie, is creepy as hell. The guy that like floats.
Yeah, he's
she meant
good.
to have a daughter, and it's meant to be the next generation.
You can tell that.
Yeah, she was supposed to
a lot
marry
of
him, but she married
influence.
Duke Leto instead because he's handsome and not disgusting.
But I like the idea though that
I weird in the David Lynch version too. I think David Lynch, I think, is more interesting because he's more of a stylistic director, and he wasn't worried about like the literal world of Dune. So those navigators come out, and it's just a big, weird, floating reptile baby monster, and you're like, "This is awesome." I don't know what these are. And like, these start out as human beings who use too much spice. It's like, holy shit! Like that stuff just expands your mind.
Looking at that backstory made me appreciate the story even more, though, because even the fact that this is basically like
more in the movie. Yeah,
it's like 40,000 years after
in the world.
Right.
It's like you were saying, there's so much more in the world. It gets so much more interesting as the books progress and the story unfolds, and the idea that the author was trying to put forth about the chosen one narrative begins to unfold. And that's where the interest lies. The first movie is going to be a bit boring because it's just a setup.
Yeah.
That might be
for
my
a bunch
problem.
Of extra stuff.
It's like there's been 2 other adaptations of Dune before this one, and they both covered the whole book. So I get that he's trying to give it more screen time, but now we have this big Dune movie, and it's half of the first book. So it's half of the story we've already.
I mean, there's a time jump.
Other adaptations.
I mean, there's a time jump at that point in the book, but it just like all we end with is like him riding worms and a battle. It's like, all right. It's like we could have just put that into the movie. It's like
I'm back to my Eternals argument on this one too. It's like I think Dune should be a TV show.
Yeah, make a Game of Thrones.
And then
actually,
it would be Game of Thrones if you did it as a TV show.
There were the shots when the Harkonnens attacked, and what are they called? The Sardaukar or whatever.
Sardaukar.
The explosions. I don't know why, but they looked so good. And because they looked big. They didn't look like fireworks. They looked like huge fireballs. And I was like, that's the best looking explosion I've ever seen in a battle. And now Lynn's going to watch it and go, what are you it's an explosion.
I think it looked
to me,
beautiful.
I was like, man, that battle looks really awesome.
I mean, I think it looks. I think
it might not work on a TV, even though I watched it on TV. I think that's like a theater thing,
I think because the story's so straightforward and there's been so many versions of it, I think this version is really beautiful and like well done. But it's sort of like if we saw a 6th great rendition of like Batman's parents getting killed. It's like it looked really good.
It's not a simple story. I don't know.
It's pretty straightforward though.
What happens?
The plot in this book is very straightforward. But there's
all kinds of machinations going on. I mean, lots of there's all these families plotting against each other.
I think that's why it should be like a long form kind of storytelling.
You can dig into that, but but if you boil that first book down to the plot, like what the thrust of the plot is, it's not that. And also in the book,
because a lot of stuff's going on like under the scenes, but they're just pawns. Like Paul's just a pawn in this big picture that's
around him. But that's not in that for like they talk about it, but there's like a conversation. There's like that's what I'm saying, that none of that stuff matters to the actual plot though.
It's kind of like the opposite of Luke Skywalker. Luke's like this hero that's going to take, save the galaxy. He's the son of Darth Vader and stuff, but no one seems to care about him. He's just like doo-ba-doo-ba-doo, but like Paul's the same kind of dude, but like generations have been building towards this, and everyone's plotting around it.
Like Anakin's the one where everyone says he's the prophecy chosen.
Yeah, but Anakin was like just a kid somewhere. He wasn't just built, by I'm just saying.
He's kind of like he's sort of like he's sort of like a Harry Potter, where it's like he is the prophecy, but like, well, he's not really. It doesn't matter who he is. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm saying really he is like a pawn.
Well,
like
he's more like a Neville Longbottom.
Yeah,
this evolving thing is coming to a point, and that's him. Versus he's just a nobody that gets thrown into a bigger.
No, I think the whole backstory. I'm telling you, I think the whole story. But I'm saying what the plot of that movie is and how you can make it into a movie. It's pretty like. They land there, they get betrayed, they run out to the desert, they survive, they come back and fight. That's it. It's like it's not like that big of a
yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
the
like, first half of that story in this movie.
Yeah.
All right.
And they had not been greenlit for a sequel. At the time
I'm spoil Spider-Man right now.
It's Peter Parker. All right, Spider-Man.
No, Brooks is not the only one you'll hurt with that.
There's 12 Aunt Mays in the movie.
What about the fans? The fans who don't watch Spider-Man but do watch this show.
Well, speaking of mixed results, so we should talk about
the weird cross section of the
fans.